Welcome back, True Seeker. It is late March 11th, 2026. Decoder in the community commented on the fact they were surprised I didn't talk about the Aleister Crowley piece in the ritual with Bam Adebayo surpassing Kobe Bryant in points scored. And I'm guessing that person who's followed my work for a number of years remembered something that I had forgotten. I went back through my notes. I haven't talked about this since 2022. Lucius Jackson died on the anniversary of Wilt Chamberlain's death back in 2022, and it was then that we talked about it. They both died on Aleister Crowley's birthday. Aleister Crowley, born October 12th, Wilt Chamberlain and Lucius Jackson, who both played for Philadelphia, Kobe's hometown. They died on Crowley's birthday, and it's more obvious with Wilt because Aleister Crowley's well known for "do what thou wilt," and remember that full phrase "do what thou wilt" shall be the whole of the law. It has a gematria value of 444. Trump just gave the State of the Union on the 444th anniversary of the Gregorian calendar being implemented by the Jesuit order. And of course, just days later, the war with the US and Israel against Iran began. And something that I've talked about many a times with Crowley is he died right after the borders for Israel were drawn. The borders for Israel were drawn September 3rd, 1947. That was 15 days before the CIA was created. And then Crowley died December 1st, 1947. And from the day that the borders, keep in mind, the borders were drawn for Israel, this very 93 nation. And if you've never seen my work on Israel in 93, I've been talking about it since pretty much I got here in 2013 and why 93 is so important to Israel. But of course, it was important to Crowley too, because his occult religion, Thelema, worshiped the number 93. But again, from the day that Israel's borders were drawn on 9/3 to the day that Crowley died was 89 days later. Aleister Crowley equals 89, like religion equals 89, also chaos. Isn't it interesting how religion and chaos both equal 89? There's 89 chapters in the gospel. Aleister Crowley created his own religion. King James, another thing that equals 89, and a lot of people use the King James Bible to justify the existence of Israel, even though it really does go against the Jewish beliefs. The Messiah for the Jews is supposed to be here when, and the third temple is supposed to be established when the Jews are to have their own state. But that said, uh, you know, 47. Again, 1947, the year that Crowley died, the year that Israel was drawn up. Kobe Bryant getting passed by Bam yesterday and synced up with Wilt Chamberlain, as we covered yesterday. If Kobe were alive, he'd be 47 years old. We know in Gematria, Beast equals 47. Aleister Crowley referred to himself as the Beast 666. We know Kobe had the ultimate Beast ritual, scoring his career high in his 666th game. But Beast equals 47. When Bam passed Kobe yesterday, it was 47 days after the anniversary of Kobe's 81-point game. Remember, Mark of the Beast is 81, like Kobe being Bryant. So, yeah, a big 47 piece here. Not to mention the ritual was against the nation's capital, Washington, in the time of number 47. There's a book out there comparing the parallels between Trump and Aleister Crowley called The Dark Star. We know Trump equals 47, number 47, a man who's paid tribute to the beast in a number of ways, including the fake headshot on the 13th of July under the 13 stripes when Revelation 13 is about the beast. And consider they did this ritual yesterday with Bam Adebayo, who wears number 13, surpassing Kobe, who was once the 13th pick of the draft. But yeah, let's put a lot of details together here because there's a lot of things that are interesting. So Something I noticed that I didn't know before because we've only recently started looking at composite numbers. Composite numbers are very important. We've been overlooking composite numbers. We've been looking at prime numbers and not looking at composite numbers. But notice Wilt died on Mr. Do What Thou Wilt's, what would have been his 124th birthday. And 124 is the 93rd composite number. Like Aleister Crowley worshipped number 93 with his occult religion, Thelema. In Greek, the words for will and love, what Thelema is about, they have numerical values of 93 in Greek isopsophy. And notice in the base ciphers of English, Wilt Chamberlain equates to 93. Kobe, who's supposedly dead, his death was foreshadowed on a cartoon that was in tribute to Wilt Chamberlain called Legends of Chamberlain Heights. Again, Kobe's from Philly, like Wilt Chamberlain. The episode where Kobe dies is called End of Days. End of Days equals 93. And it's interesting that Wilt died in 1999 because Hollywood put out a movie shortly after he passed starring Arnold Schwarzenegger that starts at the Vatican called End of Days. And we'll get to that point. At the Vatican, they're talking about how 1999 is, if you flip it upside down, it has the 666 sequence in it. If you've never seen End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you might want to check it out. It's actually a pretty interesting movie. But yeah, Legends of Chamberlain Heights gave the ultimate predictive programming for Kobe's death. The cartoon of him dying in the helicopter came out on the 16th of November, kind of like the King James Bible, came out in 1611. LeBron James, who won the championship for the Lakers shortly after Kobe died. Again, they call him King James. He's about to set the NBA record with most games played at 1611, which is supposed to happen likely on March 16th, like John 3:16, biblical. Yeah, end of days is often terminology that's associated with the biblical prophecy at the end of the book in Revelation, a time of death and destruction that some people see intertwined with the prophecy of the return of the Jewish Messiah and also Jesus and the building of the third temple. Remember, Revelation has that gematria 121. Crowley died on December 1st, 121. So the other big 93 piece is Saturn. Saturn is the keeper of time to the occult, connected to death and judgment. A lot of rituals with Saturn and death that we've covered over the years. Major one was the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting right after Yom Kippur, which fell on the day, leaving 93 days left in the year. Yom Kippur is about atonement for your sins, and then Sin City got shot up just 2 days later. But yeah, Saturn, time equals 47. Again, Crowley dead in 47, Kobe be 47. Kobe gets passed in points scored 47 days after the anniversary of his game. And once again, Beast is 47, and Beast is associated with 666, which we associate with Kobe for two reasons. He had the 666 workout, and again, he scored his career high in his 666th game. Aleister Crowley called himself the Beast 666. And Crowley is also buried in one of the states that equals 47, New Jersey. So the year that Crowley died was also the year of the first pro basketball championship. And that pro basketball championship was won by Philadelphia, which is named after the biblical Philadelphia that gets the letter. The Church of Philadelphia gets the letter about the synagogue of Satan. Aleister Crowley was associated with the Satanic. Notice that from the day that Philadelphia won the championship, and do you see that they won with 83 points? Do you see that they won 83 to 80? Again, this ritual goes down in the this ritual goes down in the 80th NBA season. Bam scores 83 points. But from that game to Crowley's death was 223 days. Philadelphia 223, the Synagogue of Satan 223. Again, the letter to the Church of Philadelphia about the Synagogue of Satan. And funny enough, Philadelphia is the 215 area code. That's its primary area code. Aleister Crowley equals 215. The other At Philadelphia, area code is 267. And from Bam's previous career high of 41, which was scored one day after the anniversary of Kobe's career high, from Bam's last career high to his new career high was 267 weeks. Talk about Philadelphia. And yeah, Kobe had his career high January 22nd, got passed yesterday, 47 days later. The beast is synonymous with Satan. Satan equals 80, like Bryant, like how we're in the 80th NBA season. Kobe played for the Lakers, who also won the championship in 1980. And was Pat Riley the coach of that team? Who coached the 1980 Lakers? No, it was Paul Westhead. Pat Riley coached the Lakers for a minute too. He coached the Knicks, Lakers, Heat. But yeah, Kobe, the year that his high school career started in Philadelphia was the 47th NBA season. Isn't that interesting? And Michael Jordan and the Bulls won the championship that year. And who did Philadelphia beat in the first ever pro basketball championship? Chicago. Just like how, or not Kobe, but Jordan played his last ever career game versus Philadelphia too. But yeah, first pro basketball championship, Philly over Chicago. It's funny that Anton LaVey, another famous occultist who founded the Church of Satan, is from Chicago. And here we are in the time of the first American Pope, who's from Chicago. And don't forget the last Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. His name equaled 312. He died on the 312th day of Trump's age. And then we get Pope Leo from the 312 area code. By the way, let me write this out too. Let me write out the Pope's name real quick and where he lived. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, Domus Sancte Marte. Remember, he lived in Suite 201 at the Domus Sancte Marte. You see how Domus Sancte Marte is also 312? And if you look up what it was before it became Pope Francis's apartment, it was a hospital built in tribute to the last Pope Leo. So how weird is that? That Pope Francis dies on the 312th day of Trump's age after he gets 312 electoral college votes, defeating the woman who had her convention in Chicago. When years ago, back in 1988, Oprah of Chicago asked Trump if he'd want to be president someday. And then Pope Francis dies at 88. We know Trump equals 88 too. But again, on the 312th day of Trump's age, and then we get a Pope from the 312. Trump, we were told by Obama on the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan that Trump would become number 45. And that joke was told April 30th, 2011, 45 days before Trump's birthday, by Obama, Barack, which means lightning, like how Satan comes to earth in a bolt of lightning in Luke 10:18. But yeah, anyway, just how all these little pieces fit together and they all seem to go back to Satan too. And just, look at how many Jesuit universities are called Wolves and Wolfpack, wolves in sheep's clothing, Satan masquerading as something other than Satan. Anyway, yeah, Kobe's high school career in Philadelphia started during the 47th NBA season. And again, the year Jordan wins, as Kobe would go on to emulate Jordan's career. So yeah, here's Israel, again drawn up September 3rd, 47, voted into existence November 29th, 1947, with 33 votes and 13 against and 10 abstaining. And then again, it officially became a nation on May 14th, 1948. But apparently, Kobe never made it to Israel. It was somewhere he wanted to go, but there was too much of a security concern for Kobe to go there. And yeah, just this ritual last night against the Wizards in the time of Trump, number 47 in DC 47 land. Of course, the Masons are big with the 47th problem of Euclid. Aleister Crowley is loosely associated with Freemasonry. He created his own brand of Freemasonry, the order that still exists today. But yeah, the Masons studied the 47th problem of Euclid. Again, there's a book out there called Dark Star Rising, Magic and Power in the Age of Trump. Remember when Trump took office at I have to think for a second. Yeah, he did. He took office at age 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days. Almost like 777. Aleister Crowley has a book about 777. We pointed out that day that the phrase order out of chaos equals 777. So, with regards to all this Philadelphia stuff, I mentioned this in yesterday's stream because I said, man, everything they do is like a big web. I feel like there's something here going on with Israel since Netanyahu graduated from high school in Philadelphia, a little synagogue of Satan tribute. But yeah, yesterday, the day of Kobe getting past the Philadelphia native to Israel's upcoming birthday. Israel's going to turn 78, like Kobe was born in 78, 65 days. And we've always called Philadelphia the 65 city. Philadelphia equals 65, and it's established on October 27th, the day leaving 65 days left in the year. Just for the record, from Philly's birthday to that ritual yesterday was the 135th day of the city's age. And if you take the date numerology for Philadelphia, 10, 27, 1682, if you had 10 plus 27 plus 16 plus 82, it equals 135. In the letter written to the Church of Philadelphia, the key of David is mentioned, which equals 135. Kobe being Bryant's 135. You know, the Pope went to Villanova, Philly school, Villanova 135. The Eagles, their motto, fly Eagles, fly 135. So many rituals with Philadelphia and 135. Villanova again this year became 13-5 in their conference. Seems like they do it every year. Yeah, but think about this. The letter to the Church of Philadelphia is written in Revelation 3:7. Yesterday, Miami picked up their 37th win. Miami picked up their 37th win, passing Kobe. And remember, Kobe died on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant, who died in 83. And again, when Kobe died, it was synced with the 83-year-old Pope, Pope Francis. Helicopter crash equals 83. Yesterday, the ritual was 83 days after the anniversary of Pope Francis's birthday. But Revelation 3:7, and to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things saith he that is holy, that he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are J's, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. I remember when Elon Musk took over X, you could no longer use the phrase the synagogue of Satan. It edited it, said you had to change the post if you wanted it to show up. I thought, wow, that's interesting. Takes over, and all of a sudden you can't talk about things in the Bible? Interesting. But yeah, Netanyahu. He graduated from Philadelphia in 1967. In that year, the NBA Finals was the Warriors, who'd moved from Philadelphia to San Francisco. And think about what was created 1 year earlier in San Francisco. The Church of Satan. The Church of Satan created April 30th, 1966. So you mean to tell me Philadelphia associated with Satan and San Francisco? And keep in mind, San Francisco held on to the Liberty Bell from Philly for a while too. Liberty Bell equals 122, like San Francisco, like Satanic. Like Kobe with 122 points for the whole team, 81 for him on 122. And funny enough, this year is going to mark 122 years since Thelema was created. Aleister Crowley's occult religion. That birthday's coming up in April. But yeah, Netanyahu graduated from Philadelphia in 1967. Keep in mind, this NBA season, this 80th season, began on his birthday, October 21st. We've been talking about that all year, how the season began on Netanyahu's 76th birthday, like Philadelphia is known as the 76ers. But he graduated from Philadelphia in 67. So 59 years ago come this year, like the ritual yesterday took place on 59 date numerology. It's interesting that the high school he went to, Cheltenham High School, look at the gematria of it, you guys. It's kind of crazy in light of yesterday's ritual. It has the 103, like 10th of March, and 347, which is the 69th prime number. yesterday, the ritual took place on March 10th, the 69th day of the year. And again, we talked about how Bam Adebayo is 69 and Wilt Chamberlain is 69 and Points is 69 and on and on and on. So Benjamin Netanyahu is also 69. And remember, we talked about how yesterday's ritual was 177 days after the Pope's birthday. There's a lot of 177s all over this war, as we've covered in the past week. But look at the gematria of Benjamin Netanyahu. Again, 177. Look at do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. It does equal 444 like we talked about, but it also equals 177 in the base ciphers. Just like Benjamin Netanyahu. Again, the war began on 28th of February, 28/2. October 7th, 2023 was 282 days after Netanyahu came back to power, which was right before 2023 started. Kind of like 223, like Philadelphia, like the synagogue of Satan. And then Benjamin Netanyahu also has the 93, the number that's worshipped by Thelema, the number that's all over Israel's history. Again, Knesset is their Congress. Edelstein forever has been their Speaker of House. Iron Dome, their defense system. Again, the nation drawn up on 9-3. Other things I'm forgetting right now. But it really does go back to Saturn for Israel because, again, Saturn, the sixth planet, the Sabbath one, why they worship on Saturn's day and they wear the cube on their head, the six-sided object like Saturn's the sixth planet. Here we are on the 6th anniversary of Cooties. But, yeah. And by the way, it says there in this blurb that Netanyahu was a good chess player. Netanyahu was a good chess player. He was in the chess club in high school. And, of course, there's 64 spaces on the chessboard, and we talked about how yesterday was 64 years and 8 days since Wilt scored 100 points. 64 years and 8 days. And notice how Thelema, again, the Aleister Crowley religion that's all about 93. Thelema, Israel, Zion, they're all 64 and 28. Bam does this ritual at age 28, and NBA has the 64 connection too. We're coming up on the kill date, which falls on the Ides of March. The date was 64 and 28 date numerology. The Strait of Hormuz is in major focus, which equals 74, like the Ides of March is the 74th day of the year, but this year it's the date with the kill date numerology. And remember, kill and Israel and Zion have a lot in common. 64, 44, 28. Netanyahu has some of those same numbers too. But yeah, also interesting. Again, it was Bam's 58th game where he beat Kobe's record, and Kobe Bryant equals 58. And just about this piece, seemingly there's Netanyahu and the capital recently being moved in Israel to Jerusalem, where Solomon's temple is, where the secrets of Freemasonry are. Again, Kobe Bryant's 58, like Jerusalem, like Solomon's temple, like Freemasonry, like Rosicrucian. Right now, you have King James. The real King James died at 58, playing on the Los Angeles Lakers, who's about to set a record with 1,611 games. Secret Society, also 58. You have all these 58s. And then you guys pointed out to me today that there's a BAM in Iran. And when we say the word BAM, it's usually like an explosion, right? BAM, a loud noise, a bang, BAM. Bam Bam carries the club in the Flintstones. If you missed the find earlier, Arthur came in the stream we did earlier today and pointed out that Bam Bam, Bam Bam from the Flintstones debuted on October 3rd, kind of like March 10th. The 2 days can be written 10-3 or 3-10. But Bam Bam debuted exactly 83 weeks after Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. Anyway, this BAM place in Iran is on the 58th meridian east. It's also on the 29th parallel, which is kind of interesting because Miami stayed on 29 losses last night versus the nation's capital, the one where the orders are deployed from to do the BAM in, not to mention DC is known as the Masonic City. And don't forget where, Third Temple factors in with all this and the Temple coin and what they did to Epstein, who died 58 days after Trump's birthday, about the same time they put out the Temple coin. And that was after Trump had won the 58th election, after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower. Again, all these things are intersecting. But yeah, just The word biblical is 58. I probably should have put that up here again. Line of King James dying at 58 unexpectedly. But yeah, look at that. From the day that Israel was drawn up to the day that Crowley died, 89 days. Aleister Crowley, 89. Religion, 89. Chaos, 89. We've talked about all these things in the past. Religion, without it, you don't get this. You don't get the chaos that we have in this world. Nearly every war is over religion, and war is chaos. Okay, so Kobe, he scored his career high, again, 81 on January 22nd. The rest of his team scored 41. Again, Kobe Bryant equals 41. When Wilt scored 100, the rest of his team scored 69. Wilt Chamberlain, 69. These are very similar rituals. They didn't seem to quite do that with Bam yesterday. He scored 83 of 150. So the rest of his team scored 67. And, just the satanic theme is there, though. Satanic 67. And remember, when Kobe died, he died January 26, 2020. 1 plus 26 plus 20 plus 20 is 67. The abbreviated date numerology, January 26, 20 is 1 plus 26 plus 20, 47. Now, this ritual, while Kobe would be 47. But yeah, this word invocation. Aleister Crowley, 122 years ago, come March 20th, which will be the anniversary of Operation Shock and Awe taking place on Iraq. But yeah, March 20th is going to be the 122nd anniversary of Aleister Crowley invoking Horus in Cairo, Egypt. And I'll give credit to the goofy guy. Your decode was better today. Somebody asked me to listen to it because they said that, yeah, you mentioned that I didn't bring up Wilt Chamberlain and Mr. Do What Thou Wilt. But again, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if you were aware of that because you were going through my notes. We all know you follow my work very closely. But yeah, I did not think about it yesterday. So I'm glad you brought it back to my attention. I was mostly focused on exposing, all the top point scores and how interrelated everything is, which was a coherent post, something that you're yet to do uh, in your years of work. Anyway, you did have a good point here with the invocation and the 122nd anniversary. I'll give credit where it's due. So, yeah, Thelema is going to turn 122 years old in April. And the other name for the book of the law is Liber Alvaligis. And that does equal Wilt Chamberlain in every single cipher. For the goofy decoder, good job on that too. I did check out his video. So I said, okay, those are some good finds. Those are some good finds, goofy guy. But in your whole video, you didn't mention all the 47s. You didn't realize that Crowley died the year of the first pro basketball championship and how all these guys go back to Philadelphia who won it. Come on, goofy guy. Problem with goofy guys, the only thing he knows anything about is wrestling. Anyway. Yeah, Crowley created Thelema. So, I wonder if the System of a Down song, AWA, is about this. What's that song about? I'm gonna look into that. A lot of the rock world is inspired by Aleister Crowley. AWA used to be a pretty common radio stereo brand too. Now that I think about it, but yeah, Aleister Crowley supposedly talked to some entity named AWAS from April 8th to the 10th, and that's how Thelema was created. So we're coming up on the 122nd anniversary of that. And keep in mind, it's 121 years and change for both right now. Like Revelations 121, like he died on December 1st. But yeah, that is really interesting how, again, Wilt Chamberlain dies on his birthday anniversary. And obviously his birth name is Wilton, but he went by Wilt the Stilt. And, oh yeah, Wilt the Stilt's also 177. Wilt the Stilt. Covered that yesterday, like how "Do What Thou Wilt" has that 177. Crowley was born in the year 1875 too. That's also kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, the 150. There were so many 150s to yesterday's ritual, and Goofy Guy did point out that Crowley, if you would keep counting from his birthday anniversary to yesterday's ritual, it would be 150 years and 150 days. And 150 gets its significance from the sun, which is said to be 150 million kilometers away. Again, heliocentrism equals 150, like Illuminati, the thing that illuminates the world, the sun. Uh, Crowley invoked Horus. Horus, one of Horus's eyes is the sun, the other is the moon. And the other counterpart of Horus is ISIS. So think about that with all the terrorism stuff. And supposedly that guy was inspired by ISIS that shot up Austin, Texas, right after we went into Iran. And then are they saying those guys that tried to bomb the governor's mansion, Mondani, or at least the protest in front of the governor's mansion? Are they saying they were ISIS inspired? I think I heard that too. Anyway, Horus, we talked about this many times. Horus has the same gematria as Sun. Sun has the same gematria as Love. Again, one of the loves is what the 93 is in Thelema. And I've always speculated that if the sun isn't really 93 million miles away, again, God's son equals 93, Nazareth 93, crucifix 93. Science says they traced Jesus' crucifixion to April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. Again, they say the sun's 93 million miles away or 150 million kilometers. And that's interesting about the Illuminati too, because remember, Illuminati's 150 and Order of Illuminati is 93. And remember when Alec Baldwin smoked the Ukrainian woman in the church shootout scene on the set of Rust right before Russia, Ukraine? It was 201 days after his birthday, which is the 93rd day of the year, which is the day in history that Brandon Lee was buried after he was shot on the Crow, which was similar to what happened to his father in Game of Death. And Bruce Lee died while filming Game of Death and on the 201st day of the year, July 20th. But yeah, Alec Baldwin, it was 201 days after his April 3rd birthday, the 93rd day of the year. And they even said that he shot the woman at 1:50 p.m. local time in New Mexico. And remember, New Mexico has the same gematria as Illuminati as well, 48. So anyway, Kobe Bean Bryant, 54, died on a Sunday, the Sunday before Super Bowl 54, the Joe Montana Bowl. Joe Montana also 54. But Kobe Bean Bryant, 54, Horus, 54, Sun, 54, Love, 54. You can see that Kobe Bean Bryant's also 81, and so is Horus. Like he scored his career high 81 in his 666 game, like he was the B666 Mr. Crowley. So yeah, the way all this fits together is pretty wild. And I put up this post yesterday about how we got to watch the Strait of Hormuz from the Ides of March, March 15th, the 74th day of the year. Strait of Hormuz is, and don't remember, Kobe did die during the 74th NBA season, but Strait of Hormuz 74 and 79. So 74th day, March 15th, 79th day, March 20th. March 20th is the anniversary of Operation Shock and Awe beginning in Iraq. And just for the record, about 320, it's a big Catholic Church number. Oops, I missed a letter. Roman Catholic Church, 320. So, yeah, the thing about March 20th, the anniversary of Operation Shock and Awe, is this ritual with BAM. It was with the Miami Heat, the 79 team. And right now we're coming up on the 79th anniversary of the first ever pro basketball championship in 47. So that is pretty interesting. And Pat Riley, we talked about him last night, how he's 80 right now for this 80th season, but he is going to turn 81 on March 20th, which is the anniversary of Crowley summoning Horus in Cairo, Egypt. Egypt, where a lot of this knowledge traces back to. So that's interesting. And don't forget, Pat Riley's from Rome, New York. All roads lead to Rome. Crowley buried not far from there in New Jersey. And again, in 1999, the year that Wilt Chamberlain died, End of Days came out. If you haven't seen that movie, you got to watch it. But it's just interesting how the predictive programming for Kobe's death is also called End of Days. And notice that that End of Days came out 43 days after Kobe died. November 24th, for the records, the day leaving 37 days left in the year, kind of like the Revelation 3:7 and Bryant 37, and Bryant dying on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant dying. Kobe died on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant. But yeah, the 43 days later stands out too because, I mean, how many 43s were in last night's ritual? It was crazy. Uh, Again, Bam had 43 points at the half. He took 43 shots. He took 43 free throws. He went to Kentucky. Mark Pope, the coach of Kentucky right now is on 43 wins at the time of the ritual. And the ritual came 43 weeks and 5 days after Pope Leo took office. Miami Heat, of course, equals 43. The way they put all this stuff together is crazy. And remember, 43 is also, big Jesus Christ number in light of the Society of Jesus seemingly being behind everything, likely even including the very ritualistic death of Aleister Crowley. I started to think about a counter narrative for why some of these things might have Jesuit fingerprints on them. Like Church of Satan equals Society of Jesus in Gematria. And again, Anton LaVey died 201 days after his own birthday and 201 days before the sitting Pope's birthday. You could make an argument that it's a coincidence that Church of Satan and Society of Jesus equal the same thing. Again, the Jesuits want to keep people under the influence of the church, killing occultists who might lead people away from the faith. Could that actually be what's going on? And so that is a thought to entertain rather than the Jesuits being behind Anton LaVey and the establishment of this Church of Satan, which is also possible. But I was thinking about it more. Uh, Crowley's very interesting death, the battle of good and evil. Many people would have seen him as the most evil man there ever was, killing him on 12/1. Of course, blood sacrifice is 121, but so is revelation. Yeah, but how all this stuff gets pieced together all this time later, I mean, it's wild. And remember, uh, Ozzy Osbourne died in a very Jesuit ritual. We had three very Jesuit deaths, all connected by 201. Bill Cosby's son on the Cosby Show, a 54 death as well. Then it was Ozzy right after he did the concert, and then it was Hulk Hogan. But of course, Ozzy had the song Mr. Crowley talking about, you know, the relationship with Crowley and, his satanic ways and what he brought into this earth. It's interesting that from the day that Ozzy died, and Ozzy did die 1 year to the day of Tisha B'Av upcoming this year. This year, Tisha B'Av falls on. Remember, Tisha B'Av is known as the Black Sabbath as well, if you didn't know that. Tisha B'Av is also known as the Black Sabbath. Ozzy died last year, shortly before Tisha B'Av, but he also died a year to the day of what Tisha B'Av will be for 2026, which begins on July 22nd. Anyway, I thought it was interesting that from his death to Kobe getting passed last night was exactly 33 weeks. Kobe 33. In case you forgot this, last year when Ozzy died, or excuse me, I take it back. Last year, the Black Sabbath fell shortly after Ozzy died on August 2nd, which was 666 days after October 7th happened for another 666 thing. And Black Sabbath does equal 82 and 28 like Tisha B'Av. And last year it fell on August 2nd. Uh, Ozzy Osbourne, from his birthday to his death, yeah, it was also 33 weeks. He was born. Uh, I forget. I forget. I got to go back and double check my notes. It's been too long. I don't know if he was born on the day of an eclipse. I'll have to go back and look at that. But anyway, yeah, all this stuff is just part of one big, crazy, wicked puzzle. And Yeah, I didn't put out a short video on this, but we covered this earlier. Len Bias's mother's death, dead at 77 when he died at 22. 55-year difference in age. They're calling her Dr. Lenice Bias, 55. From Len Bias's death anniversary to her death, 257 days, the 55th prime. Blood sacrifice, 257 and 86. He died in 86, right after the Celtics won the finals. Again, from his birthday anniversary to his mom's death was 105 days. Lenice Bias, 105. 105 is the 77th composite. She's dead at 77. Anyway, I'll probably put out a short video on that, but just in case you missed that earlier, also pretty interesting. His brother was murdered 233 weeks on the nose from his death, the 13th Fibonacci number, like Bias 13. Yeah, did put out a short video on Eminem's grandma's passing. Dead on the 69th day of the year when mom died at age 69. Synced with grandma's death, and it was his mother's mother. Same side of the family. Hold on, I wanna look something up real quick. I got an old post on this. Ozzy Osbourne, his song in tribute to Aleister Crowley, he recorded it from March 22nd, old 322 or 22/3 through April 19th. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, Bad Bunny has that 3 minute and 22-second song about the blackout. The ritual yesterday with the 83 points was on Bad Bunny's birthday. And remember, Bad Bunny has the same gematria as football in every cipher, including the 83. I think he spends a good amount of time in Miami, does Bad Bunny. But yeah, the Heat stayed on 29 losses. Again, 83 points, 43 shots taken, all those 43s. And I showed how this is all synced up with the upcoming World Cup and seemingly also the Super Bowl because the Seahawks, there used to be the Miami Seahawks, and then they folded and became the Colts, who are now in Indiana. This year, Indiana, the 19th state, and Seattle, the 19th city, won the football championships. And again, Jim Irsay of the Indianapolis Colts, the owner, died 106 days before the 106th season kicked off. And again, last year, the NBA Finals was the old Seattle team that's now Oklahoma City beating Indiana, which happened right after Jim Irsay died. So all this stuff, no doubt, is connected. And you know what else? Look at this. I looked up what Miami means. I did not know this. I'd never looked this up before. Look at this, you guys. Miami, a member of an indigenous people formerly living in what is now Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. What? So the Seahawks, which started in Miami, are now the Colts that are in Indiana. I mean, there's so many things going on. It's just, I mean, it makes your head spin. But yeah, don't forget, Indiana won the championship in Miami this year on the 19th of January, the 19th day of the year. And then Seattle was up 19-0 in the Super Bowl with Bad Bunny performing. And then don't forget, last year, the playoffs began on April 19th, the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. And then they had the June 11th game in the finals, which is the anniversary of Timothy McVeigh, the OKC bomber, getting executed in Indiana. And Indiana won that day with 116 points on a date that can be written 11-6. And now you just had Kristi Noem get fired 95 days after her birthday and replaced by the Oklahoma politician. So, yeah, they got all these moving pieces to their puzzle, but Crowley, this super famous occultist who wrote all these books about gematria, and yeah, he's somebody. I mean, one of the first things I started to look into when I learned about all this was Crowley and Thelema, because if you look up gematria, I mean, most gematria roads lead to Crowley. So, uh, Yeah, all these rock bands from England venerated Crowley and paid tribute to him in one way or another. Rock 47 and bands like Led Zeppelin got that 47 and Led Zeppelin also 124, the 93rd composite number. So, yeah. Oh yeah, hold on. One other piece I wanted to bring up here. Shoot, I got to scroll down to the bottom of this. In light of the 83 points, I just covered it about a week back. Hold on. There's a Jewish word for the destruction of the temple that equates to 83. And yeah, it's funny because the NBA finals start on June 3rd. It'll be the 10th anniversary of Muhammad Ali's death in Arizona in the desert. Again, the Prophet Muhammad, they say he died at age 63 on the Islamic calendar, which is lunar. It's a little bit different than Gregorian calendar. So he died at age 63 again on a different calendar than Gregorian. But from the day that remember that we just attacked Iran on the 8th anniversary of the temple coin going on sale, and 8 is the third composite, 83 points. But from the temple coin going on sale to I just measured to the anniversary of Muhammad Ali's death for multiple reasons. But that was 431 weeks on the nose. That's also the start date of the NBA finals. 431 is the 83rd prime. The Jewish word that refers to the destruction of the temple is Churban HaBayit, which I'm probably saying wrong. And again, what's interesting is June 3rd is the 154th day of the year, Temple Mount 154. It's also the day leaving 211 days left in the year, which is the 47th prime for another 47. And don't forget, Israel's birthday, May 14th, is the 134th day of the year. And both ways to say the holiday to remember the destruction of the temple is Tisha B'Av, which is 134, but it's also called the 9th of Av, 134. And you might recall Epstein died on Tisha B'Av. In the, I got the it's in an old post how the medical examiner who supposedly showed up to check on Epstein, he pulled up in car 134. And don't forget, it's big with Trump too. Make America Great Again, 134. It's also 404, like how many verses are in Revelation. Melania, 134. Jared Kushner, 134. The hit show was House of Cards when he ran for office the first time. So, yeah, and just Pete Hegseth, June 3rd will be 3 days before his birthday. He was born in 80. That was the year the Lakers won the finals. Now here we are in the 80th season. He's going to turn 46 3 days after June 3rd. Third Temple Mount 154 and 46. Again, Pete Hegseth chosen as the superior general on the Pete Hegseth was nominated to be the Secretary of Defense on the Superior General's birthday, November 12th, 2024, right after the election. But yeah, Temple Mount has the Ordo Ab Chao, the Lat for Order Out of Chaos, religion, all the same ciphers, or just same values. 4653. Man, that was some mind. See, we are DK, literally about 1 second before you called it, it just flashed through my mind. I'm like, I hope DK, because I started late. Sorry, I told you I was going to start earlier. I was like, I hope somehow he's able to call in. And like, literally, as that thought just went through my brain, the phone rang. So amazing. What's up, man?
You know what else too? I was listening to you on the shuttle bus on the way into work on the Bluetooth speaker, and the bus driver was a black dude with like dreadlocks, and he's like, "Is that the gematria stuff?" I'm like, "Oh, so you know about it?" And then he started telling me a couple things. He's like, I went and did my birthday and all this stuff, and then I'm like, he said a lot of 33s, and I kind of blew his mind about what 33 really meant. So I think I may have just got you a new follower. So
Appreciate that.
everything lined up perfectly. Google real quick while you're talking about what you're talking about. Tugboat company for LA Long Beach port. Which is like probably the biggest port in the world. There's one in like Rotterdam that may be a little bit bigger, but this port that I work at like does the most cargo like of anywhere in the world. Google what the the tugboat company is.
All right, I'm typing with one hand. Tugboat company, Long Beach Port, Curtin Maritime.
No, LA Long Beach Harbor.
All right, LA Long Beach Harbor. Oops. That Curtin Maritime comes up again. Well, what is it?
It's Crowley and Foss. Those are the two main tugboats. There's probably a tugboat at the end of the ship right here. It's just parked that I could take a picture of. But all these names of these guys like that were infamous in history. Their companies that they left behind are still fully going strong. You know, like the Hitler, they're the Braun family on the wife's side, you know, and the Braun shaving, you know, it's huge, you know, like all this stuff, all these companies that we just use their products. You don't realize that, you know, talking about this stuff all the time. Did you, is that too loud? You hear all that noise in the background? You still hear me over it?
I hear you over it. Yeah, it's fine.
The new movie coming out, Hail Mary, with your doppelganger as the main actor.
Who's that?
Can't think of his name right now. Pull it up real quick.
Hail Mary?
Hail Mary, yeah.
Oh, is it Ryan Gosling?
Gosling, yeah.
Yeah, some people say I look like Ryan Gosling. Okay, yeah, okay.
That just by the title, there should be some stuff in there.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then pull up. I already knew what was going to happen. I texted you. I predicted that the war was going to be on the 28th based on the planetary alignment. Google real quick. February 28th planetary alignment.
Yeah, I know from Florida. From Florida, there were 6 planets in alignment. They said you could see it from Florida.
Yeah, and that's not supposed to happen till 2040 on a specific date. Did you see if those dates are correlated?
I didn't, but this ritual with Adebayo was in Florida, so.
Yeah, I heard some of the stuff you were saying about that. I mean, I'm so little time. I can't keep up with sports at all. So, is this guy? What's this guy averaging? How do you score 83? This guy, what is he averaging? Like 30?
He was no, not even close. He was a highly unlikely candidate to score 83.
Yeah, I mean, while Kobe was still in the league, you remember they had a couple of those guys that would was it like Antoine Walker? Sometimes they would go for like 60 or something. One time him and Kobe both scored like 50 and 51 in a game, but they were like oddballs. Sometimes they would have like big numbers. But they were at least averaging like 20, 25 points on their team. How's this guy out of nowhere? What's he averaging? Like 10 points? Or I mean, what?
For his career, Bam averages 16 points for his entire career.
Yeah, I mean, geez, dude.
Yeah.
It's a big jump to 83, you know?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Not to mention he's the center and they had him shoot 22 3-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of a new thing in the league. You see, even before the French guy, before he got hurt over there in San Antonio, he just starts shooting a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
Just looking back at the stuff that I texted you to see what I wanted to tell you. Oh, yeah, just look back at the text thread. There was some guy that did a decode. I was wondering if he copied off of you. The picture, it says most liked video. Basically, it's the memorial of the 9/11 is in the picture with fire around it. I was thinking somebody bit off you, but they had big views, so I was wondering if they just jacked your stuff. And would you say you got about 200 people listening now? I think I'm under 100 for sure. But what I was telling you earlier, for whoever is listening, to slightly clarify or completely clarify what's going on with all the people claiming it's all the J's or it isn't or whatever, and how the confusion basically the ball keeps getting pushed down the road on that. Number one is between the religion and the ethnicity. You know, anybody could claim they're Jewish, black people, whatever, like following a religion. But then there's also a whole different thing, which is like an ethnicity behind that, which is talked about in the Bible about the fake Jews and all that stuff. So these Khazars, when they were, you know, they really don't have a home. So when they were infiltrating into all these different countries, they would take on, you know, names that of either families or like, you know, a whole tribe or somebody that they killed, or they would just make a name that's very similar to what's already in that region. So they like could belong. So they wouldn't get like ostracized right away as being the infiltrating Satanist. So like, I mean, like I'm probably put like 100 dots together right here in the next like 20 seconds right now. So like, for instance, a lot of the ones in Italy that like the fake Jew last names over there would be like ONE, like Stallone, Malone, Carbone, Capone, Cardone, the fake, like Grant Cardone, the fake billionaire guy. And then another one would be like INE, like Levine, Pine, Fine. And, you know, we see all these names are very prevalent here in the United States. And another very common one is like with INE, like Mancini, Larini, Gandolfini, Orsini, Pallavicini, Aldobrandini. So these are all like fake Jewish names, and they could be Catholic, they could be Jesuit, they could be whatever. So like, if you want to look at big picture wise, like these are all Khazar descendants, and a very, very high echelon club of this Khazar descendants is the Jesuits. That's like the premier military order that these guys are chosen through lineages and like who knows how many, you know, generated family lines that they've been military for what's now called the Catholic Church, which is a, you know, if we look at all of history, that's still a modern day creation. It was just a renaming of the Church of Babylon. So, you know, when we're looking at it like, you know, okay, so who created the Catholic Church? Well, it was these, you know, it was actually these the predecessors of the Khazars, which was the Hyksos, and Hyksos is basically means six. So this was when they took over, you know, like the Roman takeover of Egypt. They implemented 6 kings, which were called these Hyksos kings. And then in the Norse tradition, they have the Vikings. VI is Roman numeral 6, so it's not actually Vikings, it's 6 kings. It's the same 6 kings talked about in Egypt, the Hyksos. So it's the same group kind of, you know, taking over certain areas, and then they slowly infiltrate their slave race that could be just your neighbors who are, you know, Khazar descendant fake Jews of the lowest class who have no idea what the fuck is going on, who will go take vaccines. They don't know. They don't know nothing, you know? So you can't just say, you know, that's where the confusion starts. People are like, oh, it's, you know, it's all these, you know, some of them have no idea. But of course, the upper echelon do. And, you know, when you're talking about like the Jesuit, that's like, you know, pretty much almost like second tier. They're the only level above that is the ones telling them what to do, which is some of those families with the INI last names that were previously mentioned a few minutes ago. So, you know, are all the Jesuits fake Jews? Yes. Are all the fake Jews Jesuits? No. You know what I'm saying? Is all the Masonic structure that's up higher fake Jews? Yes. Are all fake Jews Masons? No. You know what I'm saying? So like they make it all confusing, and then the overlying cloud that confuses everybody is like, wait a minute, this guy, you know, if you look at the last name, it's a Khazar descendant fake Jew last name, but this guy's Catholic and he's like clergy in the Catholic Church. So we say he's Catholic, not Jewish, but like, you know what I mean? But really he's this, you know, so we shouldn't even call these people Jewish, just call them like Khazars or something, so they can't use a religion to hide behind or something. You know what I mean? It's almost like hiding behind children, how they do that. It's really, it's sad that people fall for that, but you know.
Anyway, well, I don't think every single Jesuit's a Khazar. Some of the founders were converts, but I don't think Arturo Sosa, for example, I don't think he's a Khazar.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Look at him; he doesn't look like he's a Khazar.
We'll look at like for instance, if you look at some of these other like originally Spanish fake Jew Khazar last names that ended up in South America, like with the IO, like remember like the Roberto Baggio, the famous Italian soccer player. Then you had like Craig Biggio here in baseball, but then you have Bergoglio and all these different, IOs at the end that are also infiltrated in like 5 different countries. And like Barbosa, Sosa, a lot of those are also part of that as well. And it doesn't matter really how they look. Some of them look really like Arab, that are like, maybe you would call them the Sephardic type, or they look really like Spanish, like Spaniard type. And like, for instance, my partner at work today, her dad, who's passed away, she was telling me about all her childhood trauma last night, as a matter of fact, was in the Mexican mafia. She's like, it's so weird because he's this like little white guy. And I was asking her all about him. I'm like, so he's a Sephardic fake Jew? He's like, probably, yeah. She's like, I have so much trauma from this dude or whatever, why does this guy get placed in the Mexican mafia? I'm like, showed me a picture of him. I'm like, this dude looks like he would get killed the second he showed up to anything that had anything to do with the Mexican mafia. She's like, no, he was like a boss. I'm like, I bet you all the other guys had tattoos on their heads with shaved heads and wearing like white beaters and stuff. It was all exactly. That's the stuff I saw when I was a kid, and he was telling them all what to do. I'm like, how would your dad at like 5'6" get in that position? Does that make any sense to you? She's like, I had no idea when I was that small. But so, they kind of just have their guys in the position because they print the money. So it's got to be somehow linked to that in the beginning. Somehow they're, they mostly through money for the non-initiated, and then their own people. Obviously, they have them in a certain, they have them like on one of those credit cards. Well, you'll have unlimited money as long as you're in the club. If you're stuck doing what the club wants, then you're on your own. I have a couple of friends like that admitted it to me. Like, they won't participate in any gay stuff or any evil stuff. So they just got to like 60-some-year-olds driving like Uber and Lyft, They used to, do stuff, own multiple offices, real estate offices, this and that, when they were part of the club. And now they're not part of the club. Now they're basically broke. So even that's the lowest level, they don't, just above, taking vaccines. Like, they know enough not to take vaccines. But I see some of the ones that are ahead of like the HOA in my community, which is like enormous, millions of dollars going through that place. It's all, they know exactly. And they're at the dog park telling everybody I'm like, I know you didn't take a vaccine. And they get all like, you could just tell that I told the truth. They're all like shocked, like how I knew they're lying about taking. I'm like, don't try to get these people to poison themselves. This is part of the shit they tell you at your local freaking Shabbat, right? That where you guys are all kind of meeting, and then you go out into the neighborhood and push your fucking bullshit, and they're just like shocked to hear me say, like, I could just tell on their face and the way they're like, Adam's apple moves, how much they swallow. Like, oh shit, who the hell is this? How did he know all that? Was he back in the meeting? Was he at the Shabbat at the meeting in the back spying on us? Like, what the fuck? I just kind of know how they're all integrated. It's just like a web. You would never think. And the Jesuits are this, like clandestine military order. That's the same way they're like that in our neighborhoods, just at a way, way low level. When I finally realized that like 10 years ago, I was like, oh, fuck, you can't, there's nothing you can do. Even if I'm like, I'm going to whoop this person's ass and this person's ass, things are going to change. But no, that doesn't happen. They got 100 more people for you to fuck with after that, kind of like what they've done to you, surround you with 1 million trolls, and then you're doing everything on the internet. They could just control you, no problem. Where when you go out in public on your own, then they can't control you. I would immediately, actually, I was thinking about that. You should get one of those people to come into your house and check to make sure there's no trackers in the house, and get your car checked. Obviously, there's probably a couple on there. If your garage door is opening, if you have a security system that's linked over the internet, they can get through that anytime. So I would take that off immediately and get a closed circuit one with cameras inside your house, and have the garage door guy come over and clear all the fucking codes and redo it, dude, because they have your thing now,
It was really weird what happened yesterday. You must saw yesterday how the garage opened and the alarm went off. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, is that through the internet? You have all your things so you can look at it like if you're somewhere else?
It is.
Yeah, so I'm sure you already know the cops can control all that. They passed the bill for that and everything. They could just tap into it anytime they want without telling you. So, of course, for you, they're doing that 24/7 times 10. You know what I'm saying? You're I would consider like an ultra targeted individual, regardless if you don't really act like it, but that's really actually what's going on. It's 24/7. They have a crew of people trolling you on the internet, watching where you are, probably very easily now because, they just got cameras set up wherever. They got neighbors. And your neighbor, the old neighbor, didn't rob you. He was just the umbrella man on the operation, which was most likely a very professional operation where they put in cameras and everything else while you were there and before you moved. So good thing you're out of there. But of course, they placed all those fake neighbors around you and all that stuff. I've heard all this stuff before I even knew who you were. I knew that was all going on. Then when I heard your story, I was like, geez, they got this guy surrounded. You know what I mean? And he's just working solo and he's got a wife and kid now. You know what I mean? Need like 2 pit bulls and closed circuit camera is what you really need.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I just rescued a stray. I should be giving it to you, 8-week-old stray.
What do you do with it?
I'm treating it as my own. When the universe, I never pick my animals. The universe just gives them to me. But sure. I had like 2 people say, because they always see me with my animals, so they're like, man, I always see you, I want to get a dog. And then this dog shows up. I'm like, I think the universe just delivered your dog to me because you have no manifesting powers. And it just came to me instead. You want to come check this dog out, So, but I was just thinking about you. I'm like, this dog needs to go to a family with small children. This is like,
Well, you might manifest. There's a lot of stray animals around here. We were thinking about keeping a pit bull we found last year, but we realized he was pretty violent around other dogs. I didn't want him eating the neighbor's pets. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This one's kind of like a sweetie. It's a girl. So did you have a male?
He was a male. He was really well behaved with people, but other dogs, he was ready to attack.
Yeah, males can be alpha. The females usually are not. I have another dog, and she's not trying to do that. So my dog's actually punking her. So gonna learn some good lessons.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, raise the dog. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I probably forgot a million things, but. There you go. Yeah, look at the phone right now. Look at the text. The picture went through.
Let me see. Oh yeah, he's on the dog. I see. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. He's got super blue eyes.
I know. Look at those eyes, right?
Those are pretty wild.
The little neighbor kids were crying. They're like, I want her. I'm like, you guys already have 3 fucking dogs.
Right.
I want her. I'm like, you're just going on the looks of the dog. Who's going to walk this dog and do all the shit that this dog needs? You guys already have 3,
Indeed.
This dog should be a single dog in a small child family and get all kinds of exercise.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, Zach, I'll let you go. Nice talking to you as usual.
All right. Yep. Send you, man. Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
That's it. Okay. Here. I'll go for another 17 minutes. Midnight. I need to go to bed. I'm gonna drop the link. If anybody else has anything else to add here. But yeah, Aleister Crowley in sports is nothing new. Go back to what they did last year on his birthday in the NFL. They had the White Horse team playing, just like how in Ozzy Osbourne's song about Crowley, he says, "Won't you ride my white horse?" Here, I'll take you back to the Broncos game last year, October 12th. I think it was Thursday Night Football, if I remember rightly. Right. It might have been the first game of Week 10. Or no, it wasn't quite Week 10. Let me see. Was it Monday Night Football? Oh, it was the first game on the slate for Crowley's birthday. That's what it was. It was the London game. That's what it was. Yeah. Think about that. And Crowley's from the UK. The London game on Crowley's birthday, the White Horse team wins. I mean, the Broncos didn't pay anything. They were a big favorite, but we knew that was Lock City. They didn't cover the spread. 13-11 was the score of that game. 13-11. There's probably something to that. Well, what's up, Gematria 32?
Yeah, I seen this headline. They're making a big thing of it. This disc jockey on Shea 45, Lord Sear,
I meant to look
DJ
that
Lord
up.
Sear.
Yeah, so another death related to Eminem.
Oh
Grandma's
yeah,
dead,
yeah.
and he's on Slim Shady's
Shea 45,
channel.
Shea 45. Yeah, Sirius XM. He sent out a tweet too. His condolences. But I see that he's dead 118 days, I think, to his July 7th birthday. And, you know, 118 is a death number, sacrifice number. You follow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the same. I mean, go figure. On the same day that Grandma's in the news dead, somebody from his network is dead. What are the odds?
Yeah. I think his real name, Steve Watson, equals 163, 38th prime. Lord Sear equals 38. Radio personality equals 201.
It said he's dead at 52. His name's 52.
As
Oh
well.
wait,
Yeah,
this article, the
Lord
last
Sear.
one I just clicked on said 52. This one says 53.
No, I seen both.
Yeah, right here,
That's
52.
why I didn't want to, because that's, you know what they're doing. But yeah, I just wanted to point this one out by the numbers. 118 days to his July 7th birthday.
Yeah, death and homicide 118, and hip hop's birthday is the 11th of August. Yeah, crazy how they do it over and over again.
Yeah, you know that since we're talking about Crowley, you know, he has the 7/7 birthday, which is, you know, but Crowley, he wrote a lot of books, and I read a lot, and a lot. Most of his books, not most, but some of his books are how you say.
Like none of this information makes any sense about it. Here it says he's
Oh,
born July 7th, 1971. I mean, if he was born then, he should be 54 going on 55 later this year.
yeah, I peeped that.
Yeah. So some of the headlines are probably fudging it to 52 because Lord Sear equals 52. Okay.
I was gonna say, Crowley, he played a lot of tricks on people with his books. You heard, like, a lot of people fall for the blinds and run with them. If you understand what I mean.
Well, all I know about Crowley's books is they're super complicated
No,
and
you understand what I just said? That
not really.
a lot of he was a trickster, and also they say he was a double agent or whatever. But and a lot of, if you read a lot of people that write, you know, throughout the ages that have written occult books like Dion Fortune and Pravorsky and people, they say that he was a trickster too, and he got kicked out of the Golden Dawn. So some of his books are he plays tricks on people, and they fall for the blinds. Like, a lot of things that he wrote aren't really. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but great stuff. I just wanted to point this murder by numbers out to Zach. You have a
Yeah,
good night.
I'll have to do a follow up on that one. Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
Eminem's first album came out before the was the Superior General, but that's his birthday. Looks like the internet went out for a second. I don't know if the internet went out while I was doing my presentation at all. It's driving me nuts how often the connection's going out these days. Well, what's up?
Oh, hey, Zach, I just had to turn my mic on, my bad. But yeah, hey, how's it going, Zach? It's been a while since I got call in, but you know, usually I'm busy during the daytime. How did you go on hockey today? For your picks? I had some good plays in hockey the last two nights, and ode to that. Oh, can you hear me, Zach? Hello? don't know if you can hear me or not.
My internet went out again. I heard you say
Oh,
how.
yeah. I've been having some issues watching your stream.
There were only 2 games in the NHL today, and I wasn't
Yeah.
crazy about them. But I did suggest the idea in our stream that wouldn't it be funny if Philadelphia beat Washington today 4-1 in tribute to Kobe? And I saw that Philly did beat Washington today 4-1. Because yesterday Washington was the Kobe ritual. So
we swept in hockey today. Yeah, and then last night I also got the Islanders because, you know, I've seen a lot of good numbers for the Islanders. And then the goalies have been giving it away for me the last 2 days in hockey because the goalie Shesterkin, I think, for the Islanders, he hit on the date numerology, the top date. He got his career overall win on the top date numerology, 58. He got his 58th career win. And then also today, same thing with the goalie in the first game. I'm trying to remember here. I got my notes right here. Let me check real quick. First game, goalie in the first game today was Ray Allmark. It was for Ottawa. He was on 95 and 45 at home in his career. Oh, no, all time. Here it was. All time. He was 182 and 95 in his career. And what I seen was he hit on a number that you know, oh man, where was it?
It's okay. We don't need a big hockey decode.
Yeah. But no, it was definitely the goalies. You know, the goalies were the giveaway for me. The last 2 nights in hockey was from Montreal tonight. And then last night, the night before, it was New York Islanders. The goalie hit the date numerology with the all-time wins on the 58 date. He hit 58 all-time wins. And then same thing with tonight with the goalie from Montreal. So definitely look at the goalies if you guys can. Look at them goalie dates because the last 2 nights in hockey, they've been dead on for me. You know, besides all the other records I've been looking at. But also I did this. This isn't the reason I just called in today, Zach. I was just, you know, trying to see how like hockey was going. But also there was something else I wanted to bring up in regards to, Philadelphia and Detroit today. It looks pretty insane because, you know, I was looking at some records at that. And if you can look, Detroit's on 46 all-time wins today.
Okay.
So, and I was looking at all-time Philadelphia, all-time on Thursdays. Philadelphia all-time on Thursdays can hit their 258th all-time win today if they win on a Thursday. With Detroit's on 46 wins. And then if you also look, Sixers on the road on a Thursday all-time, they can stay on 149 wins, which is the 35th prime. They can hit their 101st all-time win, which Philadelphia equals 101.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be doing hockey tomorrow on Patreon. I don't think you're on my Patreon. I don't think you've ever called in before.
Yeah, I have. It was in the past, but lately I can't because I'm always busy working in the daytime and whatnot. That's why I'm on so late. I'm in the East, so it's like, you know, it's hard for me to get in the streams. Usually I catch your streams late. Like you're never, you know, I can never get on time to call in or, you know, if I can, it'd probably be on my day off or something. But usually, you know, them are pretty scarce days to get on.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go over sports tomorrow. I wasn't really doing a sports stream right now. I was just
I'm sorry. I ain't gonna be able to call in tomorrow. So I just wanted to leave. If you could leave it in your notes, like maybe put that in there for tomorrow. Because that's why I wanted to call in tonight. I am not gonna be able to put this in tomorrow, give you any tidbit about this. So I felt it was important to call you now and maybe take a look at them records if you can, because today is Thursday. Detroit could stay on 46 all-time wins. Philly could stay on 149 all-time.
Well, you know, I don't decode like that, so that's not how I'm going to do my decode. But anyway, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You know, torch hockey almost every day, all season. I'll stick to my decoding methods. All right. Anyway, what's up, Julius?
What's going on, Zach?
Should I just go to a whole new hockey decoding method? Do you think that's a good idea?
No.
Like, what's this guy doing? That's not how I decode. I mean, we're winning like almost every damn day. So,
I want to find out something interesting. I found out that from the day that Bam was born to the day that Kobe dropped 81 was just over 444 weeks. And it's funny because the Gregorian calendar just turned 444.
Right.
So I found that interesting. And you were talking about I'm not sure how accurate, you know AI could be bogus sometimes, but I looked up if there was any significance to the name Adebayo. And if when you look it up, it says something about like the Prince, like or not the Prince, the like crown meets like royalty or something like that.
Yeah, I covered that yesterday. I was showing how it was synced up with the president of Nigeria, seemingly 'cause it's a Nigerian name.
Well,
NBA 19. It was 19 days before the king
but
of Nigeria's 74th birthday.
when you look it up, do you see how that phrase equals 74 in the most pure?
What phrase?
Like when you look up what does Adebayo mean on Google, it comes up like the crown means something. I'm not sure the exact translation. But yeah, it says the
Crown
crown
means
means joy.
that equals 74.
Yeah, and 79.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That guy's about to turn 74. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't sure like if that's the exact translation because I know Google is not always the best, but I just like I mean, look at those numbers.
It's a lot like Chamberlain's birthday too, 21st of August.
Yeah.
Because it
But
was exactly 17 weeks into the Superior Journal's age, like NBA's 17, and now he's 17. He's 17 shy of Wilt's 100-point game.
right. And it's funny that he did this against the Wizards because I found out he's born in the city he's born in is called Washington. He's born in Washington, North Carolina.
Wait, he went to high school in North Carolina. He was born there?
Yeah, it says that, or no, he went to high school in Washington, North Carolina. When I looked it up, maybe he was born in New Jersey. Obviously, well, you know the
I think
43
he is.
connection.
He's from New Jersey.
But
Yeah,
I thought he went to school in the city called Washington. I could have been
that's
wrong.
probably what it is. He did go to high school in North Carolina. I saw that.
Okay. But yeah, and you know, it's just like funny that, you know, what it really is just a distraction from what's going on. Because what is everybody talking about? Oh, was it a real 83-point game? Should he let Kobe? And like meanwhile, like we're dropping bombs like in the Middle East. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like all distraction.
Right,
I mean,
and we know that 83 is that big old murder number too.
yeah.
So.
And you know what's so weird is that about it, like, you know, I talk to sub decoders, you know, pretty much every day. And I had dropped like an hour before this game about the significance about how the number 43 and has been showing up because it was 43 days after obviously Kobe's death anniversary, and obviously this big 43 ritual took place. But yeah, it's just insane how they do this. But if you go to CNN that day, one of the top headlines for majority of the day was that 140 U.S. soldiers were injured. I'm not sure if you caught that.
I didn't see it, but okay.
But it was up on CNN for a long time, and it's weird because if you spell out the word 43, it equals 140 in the most simple.
Interesting. Okay.
And I found that interesting because it was, you know, obviously just it was on there for like a good portion of the day.
Yeah, yesterday the 43 ritual with Bam was 140 days after the season began.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been noticing they've been doing some stuff. If you type out numbers, sometimes they'll do rituals tied like I said, 43 equals 140. I've been catching some stuff like that. But still doing more research on that. But obviously, you know, when you spell out 43 equals 140, I was like, I don't think that's a coincidence because I didn't even know it was 140 days after the season began. I didn't catch that part. That's definitely got to be part of it. And the same day, 140 U.S. soldiers injured. Man, it's crazy, Zach. It's people.
That's how they do it. Same numbers from the news to the sports.
Man. All right, but yeah, that's what I have for tonight, Zach. Appreciate it.
All right, Julius. Take care, man.
You have a good one.
See you. What's up, 424? 424? I don't think you can hear me.
Hey, I can't hear you right now. I'm gonna drop out, come back in.
Okay. I think Lucille?
Reverend Michael Fleming.
Oh boy. 424?
Yo. All right, yeah, I was on the same thing with the last person I was just talking. I don't know if that was Julian or not. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what are the odds they just have this shit so set up to where it could be this big of a distraction, right? Where like they're threatening that California can get hit by drone strikes or some shit like that. Like on the world, the war is just amping up right now. Like, what are the odds they just had this shit so down, so precise? Like, it's just crazy. But
Yeah, how they do it.
yeah. So yesterday it was a. I'm thinking it's got something to do with the Super Bowl next year. Well, with it being in LA, and this is all about Kobe. You know, and the significance of that 43. If people look into the team I was talking about all last year, and the significance of yesterday, it's the team I was talking about. The quarterback birthday was yesterday as well. You know, the 43 to 47. One of the, like we've been saying all year, this Miami shit that's been popping up. It's nothing but the news has been nothing with Miami. The Miami head coach comes to this city that the Super Bowl location is going to be at, and they got this shit. They got all this shit happening. So I just wanted to bring that up. Like, man, this is crazy. Like how they just got it so synced up, and how it's 83 points and football equals 83. So it could be from a Super Bowl 60 tribute, or it could be a Super Bowl 61 tribute.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's all, man. I was just bringing that up.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. What's up, Randy?
Yo, what's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know if someone told you about. I don't know if you talk about the Harriet Tubman thing.
March 10th.
Yeah.
We talked about a little bit today. Hot Hand Dave
Okay.
called in about it.
Okay. There was one more thing too. You know that his Bam Adebayo, his girlfriend, AJ Wilson, the one that plays for the Las Vegas Aces. You know that the weird part yesterday too about her it being Osama bin Laden's birthday. Her middle name is Riyadh,
Okay.
which is the capital of Saudi Arabia, which is where Osama was born.
Is that right? Huh?
Yeah, I found that very weird. Like that's her middle name, and like that middle name is like so uncommon because again, that's an Arabic name, and she's American.
And Bam is a town in Iran. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, okay. That is wild because it was bin Laden's birthday. He would have been 69.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she's playing out in Vegas in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something up with that.
People are just chosen to be together.
Yeah, her middle name is where bin Laden was born. Okay, so that this is definitely an angle to why they did this with Bam yesterday.
Yep.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Wow.
Yeah, so I was that's pretty much what I have for that one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Nice work.
Thank you.
Do you want to shout out your social media?
Oh yeah, for anyone that wants to follow, it's a Randy RANDY and then KONSEY.
On Instagram, right?
Yeah, that one's Instagram.
Yeah, so man, I'm gonna have to think more about that angle. But yeah, bin Laden would have been 69 yesterday on the 69th day of the year, like Bam Adebayo 69. I know that's not an accident. That is crazy.
Oh, sorry. One more thing too. You know the whole thing was about like the whole Obama thing in 44.
Uh-huh.
I was saying to myself, Obama really better be careful too because there was yesterday also. You know the whole thing with all the 43s that popped up. There was a Hawaii volcano that popped up. The one in Hawaii that erupted for the 43rd time.
Yeah, because he was the 43rd person to be president. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's even crazy that it erupted 147 days before Obama's birthday.
Wait, how many days?
147.
Oh, 147. Okay. Yeah, that's like the windows on the White House.
Yeah, then President of the United
Saw that.
States.
Okay. Yeah, that is very interesting too. That's a good
So,
catch.
so the next time that specific volcano erupts will be the 44th time.
Huh. Okay, yeah, that's definitely interesting. How long do you know how long Bam and this Asia Wilson have been together?
For like maybe a year or two now. Because I know that when she just won the championship, he was there with her celebrating. I think
Okay.
it's been for about like over a year or two, like a year or two.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna have to think more about this one because that is amazing. What are the odds that that would be her middle name?
Like like you can even Google like when I googled it, there's like 200 people that have that type of name. Like no one has that name.
Yeah, 200 is almost nobody in a world of 8 billion people. And I imagine the majority of those people don't live in the United States.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a complete Arabic name. I think the name means like the name means like the gardens or something like that. Like or like it has to do with for fertility too, with her being a woman.
Yeah, and we're coming into spring, which is associated with fertility.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is crazy ritual. I'm looking up what the meaning of it is. Yeah, that's a really good catch. I'm glad that one didn't slip through the cracks.
Yeah, I saw it. I was just like, what the fuck? That's damn near impossible. What type of American has a middle name like that?
Yeah, it means gardens, meadows, or place of green space. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that one more. Did you measure from how this all lined up with her? She's got an 8/8 birthday. Speaking of 8/8, there's another ring.
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to look at that one, but there must be something.
Look real quick. So it was 214 days after her birthday. What did I just hit? Adebayo means the crown meets joy, which equals 214. So
That's
how weird is
crazy.
that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I already had that up on the screen. So okay, so 214 days after her birthday, and then we also know that's connected to the Church of Satan and Trump's Mr. 88, Mr. Church of
Hmm.
Satan Mega too. It's 151 days to her upcoming birthday. Like Jesus Christ, that's the 36 prime record. 36. Wilt made 36 shots. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep on that one, but that's huge. That is. It's too bad. Well, you're doing a good job of getting a lot of people to listen to you. Have you presented this to your audience yet?
Many times, yeah. Actually,
Have you, I know I'm
I
saying you
posted
presented
it.
this already about her middle name.
No, actually, no. I think I might make a video and include it tomorrow about that.
Yeah, I think people should think about that one because seriously, what are the odds on Bin
That's
Laden's
damn near
69?
impossible.
If he probably is alive somewhere. It probably was his 69th birthday.
That definitely was.
They had to tell us for years they got to get this guy and then supposedly they just get him and just dump him in the ocean. They torture everybody else, but he just goes right in the ocean.
He goes
Okay,
right in the ocean.
yeah,
Yeah, honestly, I think yeah, and then all this, even people like him and Mamdani, sometimes I think all these guys are just related to each other.
yeah. And that's the thing too. It's just like that's the other thing, right? We got a Muslim mayor in New York by the numbers, and now we're finally attacking Iran after 20 some years of fear mongering of going to war with Iran. It's like, come on, man. Not
It's
seeing through
sad.
that.
It's sad. It's sad because I'm from New York, and when he was running, I was telling all my friends all this stuff like this guy, he's gonna win because obviously this is the biggest joke ever. It doesn't even make any sense. What the fuck? Where does this guy even come from?
The
And then him being the
33-year-old
36.
with the surprise primary win on Freemasonry's birthday. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. All my Muslim friends was like, what are you talking about? And he's a good guy. And why would they do that? I was like, man, as soon as this guy comes to office, you're gonna see a whole lot of bombings.
Yeah, yeah, and now they already got it going on. Nearly a bombing in front of the Gracie Mansion.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. They say yeah, when he turns 28, and be very curious to see what's gonna happen in New York with that one. With the Quran equaling 28.
Yeah. Yeah, you found a major gem here. I just got to figure out exactly where this 83 fits in. There's something with Bin Laden that we're overlooking, I think. At least that I'm overlooking.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole thing because even the word Muslims too equal 83.
Muslims, the plural.
Yeah, the plural Muslims. Yeah, equals 83. Newark, New Jersey, where he's born.
Is
Her
83.
land is also 83. Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, see that. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
And one of my friends had told me that he's Muslim, but when you Google it, it doesn't say it. But one of my friends, he had told me that because he's Nigerian, so he does have a more better odd out being Muslim. Just I've never personally seen him post anything about him being Muslim.
Let's see if you can find anything. Well, the Google thing you can't even trust because he's a devout Christian on Google, but
That's impossible. Yeah. Google is definitely. I've never seen him talk about Christianity whatsoever.
yeah, Google lies all the time. Okay. Well, you gave us the major clue and lead, so I'm gonna get some rest, but I'm gonna think about that. I know there's another angle here that's got to be huge.
Yeah.
Is Las
Definitely.
Vegas? Is Las Vegas? I know Las Vegas, Nevada is 43. It's not 83, too, is it?
I think it is.
It is.
It
It is.
is.
She's playing out in Vegas.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. He said though he couldn't have scored those points without her.
When does the WNBA season begin?
I think they're about to go on strike soon because they said that they want more pay.
Supposed to tip off on May 8th unless it goes on strike. Huh. 50, so it would get 59 days, just like it went down on a 59-date numerology Black Mamba.
Exactly.
Okay, but yeah, that's that. I'm just blown away that her middle name is where Osama bin Laden's born. It's like, wow,
Crazy.
yeah.
Too perfect.
And like I've been saying for years, man, these people don't even. Like I don't know where they get them from, but they are named accordingly for all the rituals that are planned out for their lives. So
Yeah, man. I don't think these guys are. I think some of these guys are born in a lab.
something like that. You seen that? Have you seen They Clone Tyrone?
Of course. Of
Oh my
course.
God. You know,
Of
the
course.
church scene with the IHS and the
Yep.
button to get under the lab. Like,
Yep.
wow.
I definitely believe I mean, it seems more likely that that's what's going on because these things are too perfect.
Yeah. I never noticed that Osama's that's crazy. Osama bin Laden's hometown equals 119, like 11th of September and 79, also like Osama bin Laden. And also just Miami Heat 79. So that 79th day of the year, the anniversary of the bombing of Iraq starting could get extra interesting. March 20th. There's plenty of days before then that look interesting, but yeah, by the time March 20th comes around, it might be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said it was 151 days to her upcoming birthday. Rihanna, Saudi Arabia is 151.
Yep. That's it.
All right, Randy. Great work as always, man. I'll think more about it.
No problem.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Take care.
All right, take care. What's up, Yen Tai?
Aaron Michael Fleming working at
God. Well, you guys are weirdos. You guys troll together, and then you get like, what does he like getting doxxed? What is it? So then that gives him motivation to get on and say the same 5 things over and over that he's been saying on repeat for 3 years. You guys are in the world. All right. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there for now. True Seeker. Appreciate everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. And it's going to get busy here because, man, we got March Madness. We got Selection Sunday. Oh, my God. Even less sleep coming. But anyway, yeah, we'll leave it there for now, you guys. If you got here late, you might want to rewind. Pretty interesting stuff. But, yeah, that piece Randy just called in with, that needs to be explored more. No doubt about it. All right, you guys, have a good night. Till next time.